Nofap. I've been doing Nofap. Nofap is not masturbating for a prolonged period of time to improve yourself. I've been doing it for a few years. I'm going to tell you my experience and I'm going to break it down year by year to tell you what I've learned. My first year trying this, what was it like? Well, my first year, I would describe it as fucking terrible because I cut every corner I could. I did it for the wrong reasons and I would cheat every time I could. So for example, I would practice Nofap, but only to build myself up so that the next time I choose to release, I have an even more enjoyable and pleasurable experience. Likewise, edging, masturbating without releasing. The mind might say, that's all right, you don't worry, man, that's fine, you can do that. No, it's basically cheating. And you're disrespecting yourself in the process, and you're disrespecting the spirit of the practice. Also, when I started, I could only get to 1 day. So when I achieved that astonishing 1 day of progress, I became so overwhelmed by that sexual energy that I transformed into a literal chimp. So sex, nice food, TV, weed, all of a sudden became incredibly important and incredibly urgent. I had to go and do all of those things. In hindsight, I can see that because I was so unfamiliar with that Nofap state, because I was so unused to that sexual energy, my mind interpreted that in the most animalistic, base pleasure, low consciousness way possible. And so I actually ended up avoiding Nofap for a little while, thinking it was harmful somehow. And all that I really needed to do was just push past the first few days, because there was lots of resistance in those early few days. So to summarize this first year of Nofap, sexual pleasure was a greater priority than my overall well-being. And this makes me think about and empathize with younger guys, maybe 14 to 20 kind of age range. Probably most people actually suffer from this, but who are pretty much addicted to this, masturbation and porn that is, and who don't know how to get out, who can't see how bad it is for them. And you might see a kid walking back from school, for example, on a rainy day looking depressed, looking really depleted as well. And you think, man, I've been there. So you can really begin to put yourself in other people's shoes when you see that, oh wait, everyone struggles with this. And it's very normal. Now, the second year doing this, perhaps the biggest shift in my life, other than spiritual awakening and all that stuff, the biggest shift in my life was this moment. A few years ago, I really started to do it properly, and with lots of self-discipline, I cut out porn and masturbation. And what happened to me was incredible. I had a huge shift in confidence. I had a huge shift in my self-esteem. I felt radiant. I felt alive. My confidence was through the roof. I started to do things that used to scare me. So for example, public speaking. Owning yourself completely in social settings and just in life. Approaching girls. All of these things take a bit of balls. I didn't have those balls a number of years ago. And now I do. And let me tell you, in those moments when I was doing those scary things, I felt fucking invincible. The feeling was so good. I felt so grounded, so masculine, and so... You know what it makes me think of? It makes me think this is how life should be like normally. Every day we suffer from overthinking, from anxiety, from feeling a bit shitty, maybe feeling a bit, not grounded, basically. Well, this feels organic. This feels natural. This feels naturally masculine. You feel as though you are truly one with your masculine core. Very powerful feeling. And there were certain times that I felt so strong and powerful that if I really tried, I could shoot laser beams through my eyes. I didn't, but I feel as though I could have. I almost did it. I chose not to, but I could have, I promise. So I broke through. I broke through to a very natural, organic, masculine state. And this state feels brilliant, just brilliant. However, I became addicted to this state. I became neurotically self-disciplined. I would rather die than break the streak, man. You can't break the streak. What are you, crazy? So I went for months without breaking this streak. But what happened was, behind the scenes, on the side, I ended up repressing romantic and sexual feelings. But it went, in the midst of this, you're like, oh, no, I need to be my fucking Superman. I need to be Superman. Let's go, kid. No, none of that, please. None of that. Also, at this time, I became pretty addicted to working out. Because when you don't masturbate and you lift weights, you get a sort of high, a sort of rush. And although I seemed to be addicted, at least psychologically, I think the real reason that I was exercising so frequently and so intensely with so much anger was that that whole exercise, lifting weights, fitness thing, was an unconscious attempt to deal with those repressed sexual and romantic feelings. So I learned to be very honest with myself, to introspect. And I learned permanently now that you cannot solve a truly deep psychological, emotional issue by lifting weights or by pushing past it or using willpower. It requires vulnerability and honesty. So to summarize this second year, I learned the power of this practice, but I needed to understand how to use this energy and channel it productively with a higher purpose other than sex and relationships. So my third year trying this, wow. I noticed that it completely changes the way you hold yourself, the way you move, the way you talk, the way you feel inside. So much more smooth and so much more grounded. For the first time in your life, you can be truly clear, firm, and decisive. I truly think nearly every guy wants to be truly masculine in the most healthy, natural, and organic way because it feels so normal and right and true to our nature. So during this third year, I found that brain fog had almost entirely been lifted. And another powerful benefit of Nofap that I truly think is quite underrated, that people don't speak about much, is social freedom. And the reason that people don't speak about social freedom that much is because you have to break a social norm in order to do it. Social freedom is about having no limit to who you can talk to, who you can approach and have a good conversation with. There is no limit to how authentic you can be in those moments as well. And with this, you can be very confident but also comfortable within yourself and actually experience much less anxiety than you normally would. So it's a huge bonus, socially speaking. So now the fourth year, which is pretty much now, is really healthy, really effective, and really successful. I've learned to use this energy in a very productive way, such that I have a healthy masculine energy, a drive, and a passion and a positive attitude to life. Now this feeling is so good that I would argue it transcends the desire to have sex with just one person. You actually want to fuck life itself. And to tell you something really, really interesting. When you combine Nofap and meditation, you can experience God mode. After your meditation, if you go for a nice walk, the feeling is as if you were within a bubble of pure concentrated power. You feel truly like you can slow down time, or that you can take on an army of bad guys in a fucking second. You feel invincible. So, after making many mistakes, after tripping up and relapsing lots and lots, I have learned this Nofap thing, this practice, to be a powerful way to harness and channel your natural energy to have an incredible life. I use it for physical health, for emotional well-being, and even for spiritual awakening. Your power with this energy, you almost can't imagine it until you start feeling it. And you can take it to such high places, to the point where I feel that you could probably master it. So, if you want to feel grounded, strong, relaxed, and comfortable within yourself, give this a go. And I promise you, you will experience a range of wonderful benefits. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe for more videos.